go. Nick's NBA Pyramid with the NBA's 75th season tipping off tonight. Couple of times throughout each season, Nick is going to take us through his pecking order of NBA players, like a lot of NBA players. So buckle up, strap in. We got a lot to consider, Nick. Take us there.
All right, don't show it yet, because much like if you're watching a movie and they put a warning up before the screen, like if you know, there's a strobe light in the movie and they say if you have epilepsy, they want to let you know. If you have an allergy to awesomeness and accuracy, avert your eyes, America, because what you're about to see is not for the faint of heart. Top 55 players in the league in a pyramid. Let it all wash over you for a moment. Oh my goodness gracious. Just look at it. That's perfect. Just look. Now, thank you, Broussard. I agree. At the very bottom, you're like, is that Mike Conley? Is that Marcus Smart? It is. There's some good players there.
It is.
They barely cracked the top 55. Brandon Ingram, fans out there, I'm not one of them. I know some people would have him higher. That second to bottom row, Julius Randle. Nick, how's Julius Randle not higher? Well, unfortunately, we saw the playoffs. But he's on the pyramid, so good for him. Now, let's zoom it in and show you our top 38 guys in the league.
Okay.
That bottom row. Hey, I'm an honesty broker. Russ, I love you. You can't be any higher than that. You go a little further in that row, Simmons, Rudy, Draymond. Interesting. First two guys I mentioned there, awesome in the regular season, disasters in the playoffs. Draymond's the opposite. They're all in the same row. And LaMelo, we are buying LaMelo stock and holding it, the way Wild is with his Dogecoin. LaMelo skyrocketed up from being a non-pyramid participant last year, and the row right above him. Big year for Karl Anthony Towns, year 7. I'd like to see him have some good teammates. I'd like to see him in the postseason. We've seen him play 5 career playoff games. Klay and Kyrie are tough. We know what they are at their best. We don't know what Klay is going to be back from these last 2 injuries. And the last video we have of Kyrie playing sports was playing football on a field from yesterday. Very tough. There is not a single guy above Kyrie that team would trade that player for Kyrie. That's where he is. All right, now let's zoom in on the top 21 players in the sport. We will start on the bottom. This is why I've never totally understood the Jason Tatum. He's a superstar and he's gonna win an MVP. He is not even arguably a top 15 player in the league. Excellent player. Hey, he's alongside Bradley Beal, won a scoring title. Jimmy Butler was the best player on the finals team. But that's where he is. Zion could have been higher. The foot concerns me. And Chris Middleton, listen, I'm old-fashioned. I like championships. Now we go above. The Trey, Mitchell, Booker. 3 guys really juiced their pyramid stock by outstanding playoff performances. AD and Chris Paul, one could argue should be higher, but they are such, the injury concern is so real that I had to put them there. Now we get tiers 3 and 4. This was hard. Luka, Steph, Harden, Embiid, Jokic. Who gets row 3? Who gets row 4? I debated, I flipped, I flopped. I ended up saying the 2 big men I would rather have, Luka, Steph, and Harden, than Embiid or Jokic. Kawhi, he's got to be in the top 4 rows. He's got to be a top 10 player. He obviously is hurt, and so hard to put him higher than that, and Dame speaks for himself. And then the very top of the pyramid. LeBron and Durant, I don't think there's much argument there that they are top 3 players in the league. The question is, who should be at the very top? And I feel like Broussard, we somehow immediately started moving past what Giannis did in the finals. And people, there's been no discussion of Giannis this offseason, no discussion of the Bucks. Let me remind America, the Bucks were down 0-2 in the finals, and Giannis did this. Forget the fact that he scored 40 in Game 2, not even showing up. Game 3, a must-win, 41-13-6. Game 4, his worst game of the stretch, had the game-saving block. Game 5 had the game-sealing dunk. And Game 6, one of the greatest NBA Finals games of all time, for the series, averaged 35, 13, and 5. And you have no reason to believe he's not going to be a better player this year than last year, now that he has that monkey off his back. He is arguably the best defender in the league, and he just scored 50 to win the title. So he has to supplant LeBron, who's been at the top of this pyramid every edition we've ever done as the best player in basketball. Chris Broussard, I know you take issue with the committee's tiers, but this is my pyramid. There is no committee. I don't need a group of people for this. This is my life's work.
Okay.
How you react to this is going to have an impact on our friendship moving forward. Tell me you love it. Come on. Tell me you love it.
Nick Wright, you're welcome. This warms my heart, Nick. Look, I know you think that I'm being mean when I rip your NFL tiers, but it's called tough love, buddy. All right? It is about teaching you how to rank. All right, it's not about just, oh, let me rip Nick's tiers, let's have some fun, it's good. No, it's about teaching you how to rank, constructive criticism. I am proud to say, young Nick, that you have learned from me. You have taken my lessons and you have bettered yourself. This pyramid, I gotta give it to you, man. It's legit. It's not perfect.
Thank you.
But it is legitimate. Yeah, I hope this spills over to your NFL tiers because you've really done a good job here. There's a couple of things. I'm going to back you up on Giannis. All right, because when people watch this, that's what well, I'm with you on Giannis, but everybody else, as you know, Nick, is going to say, oh, KD's got to be the best player in the world and all that. I've got Giannis. Look, he's a better defender than Durant. He's a better rebounder than Durant. I can argue he's a better passer than Durant. You saw those assist totals from the finals, but he's at least as good as Durant in passing. He's more dangerous in transition than Durant, and he's not as good of a shooter, obviously. That's the only thing Durant does better, but he is as good of a scorer in terms of production.
That's right.
He scores as many points, if not more, than Kevin Durant, and he does it at slightly higher efficiency. So it's Giannis. You're right, Nick. People, because of the injuries last year, right, nobody really respected Phoenix that much. They thought the Clippers, if they're not injured, maybe they're there. Obviously, if the Lakers aren't injured, they're in the finals. So people kind of disrespect them. Brooklyn, of course. So that's why I think people move past what Giannis did in the finals. But I'm with you. He's number one. I don't even mind you having LeBron. I see a little secret. And now Nick won't admit this, but it really goes left to right, America. So he's got LeBron number 2 and Durant number 3. He won't admit it, but a little birdie, a source told me that. So but LeBron, I'm not mad at that because he does more on the court than KD. So I'm not mad at you on that. Third line, I'm good with. I would change from the 4th row. I would put AD above Dame because of the defense. Now, you made a good point. Obviously, the injuries is a concern. But AD, because of its defense, I know he's coming off a subpar year, but I'm expecting him to really bounce back and play like he did 2 years ago. So I would move him ahead of Dame. Like you mentioned, Kawhi. I don't expect to see Kawhi this season. So if you take him out, obviously you can keep Dame on that level. I would, if we're going left to right, I would move Kawhi, though, if we want to keep him, ahead of Embiid and Jokic. I think Kawhi is that good. And then I get it. You're not a fan, but Kyrie Irving. I know the baggage, all he brings.
Who are we replacing?
But the boy can ball. I'm moving Kyrie if he were to play. I know he's not going to play. But I would put him ahead of Chris Middleton. And I like Chris Middleton, but I would move Kyrie up ahead of Middleton. And then going left to right, I would move Zion over a few pegs behind, like, Bradley Beal. And I'd put Paul George ahead of Zion as well.
Let me ask you, first
of all, minor things.
Let me just real quick ask you a question, and then Wild jump in. And by the way, Broussard always accuses me of this left to right thing. He hasn't been on the show as long as I have. We have a massive viewership in the Middle East, particularly Israel, and they read right to left. So you think it's a left to right reading thing? I'm just telling you, it's just top to bottom, my friend. But let me ask you this. Let's say the vaccine issue never existed, okay? Would the Bucks trade Chris Middleton for Kyrie? I say no.
No.
If this offseason...
No,
right.
because...
So I don't think
Kyrie's got more but it's baggage. It's not his game. It's his baggage. Would you admit that?
Yeah, but that's
just
part of it.
Strictly game.
Yes, but I think that's part of it. Yes,
that's fair.
But I'm incorporating that into it. I like it is. Take the vaccine issue out of it, Wilds. The baggage with Kyrie has to impact his ranking. The fact that he took a 2-week sabbatical last year, the fact that he seems to wear on teammates. Meanwhile, Chris Middleton is like the perfect personality for a number 2 option.
Totally
I just think that,
right.
to me, I did factor that into the rankings. Go ahead, Wilds.
Yeah, that's
fair.
No, that has to be a part of it.